In this video, we travel for 9 days exploring the ancient cities of Sri Lanka by bus, tuk-tuk, and taxi. Our journey took us from Kandy to Dambulla and its cave temple, then on to Sigiriya Lion's Rock, the sacred city of Polonnaruwa, the ancient political and religious capital of Anuradhapura, dating back to the 5th century BC, and a day trip to Mihintale, thought to be the origin of Buddhism in Sri Lanka. The bus from Kandy to Dambulla takes a little over 2 hours and costs $2.
We are in the largest produce market in all of Sri Lanka. It's right here in Dambulla.
Our timing was perfect as we explored the Dambulla cave complex during a rainstorm. The Dambulla Cave Temple Complex is spread out over 80 caves, with 5 major caves containing 153 Buddha statues dating back to the 1st century BC. Our next stop was Sigiriya, a 30-minute tuk-tuk ride for just $7.
What you see behind me is Sigiriya Rock, which is an amazing outcropping here in the jungle. It is a fortress and a town on top, which we intend to climb tomorrow morning. It's pretty hot right now, so we're going to wait until it's cooler.
6 o'clock in the morning, just before sunrise, and morning. We're tackling Lion Rock, which you have to do early in the day, because if you wait till the sun fully comes out, you're toast on the rock.
After traveling through the water gardens, we began our ascent of 590 feet up the massive column of granite known as Lion Rock. Halfway up the rock, there was a sculpted lion's head above the legs and paws flanking the entrance, but the head collapsed years ago. The fortress on the top of the rock was constructed in 477 AD by King Kashyapa, who took the throne in a coup and feared a reprisal.
Did you survive?
Yes, but only with the help of a guide who helped me up the steps. It is 1,202 steps. And my guide, what is your name?
Dilan.
Ilan?
Dilan.
Helped me a great deal. Otherwise, I would have died of heat stroke.
As we climb back down, you can see the original steps carved into the granite, and we marveled at how the workers were able to create and supply this fortress. At one time, the rock face was covered in frescoes. Now only a few remain in the location called the Cobra Hood Cave, which is visible on the way down. A taxi from Sigiriya to Polonnaruwa takes an hour and costs $15. As you enter the city, you're greeted by a large standing Buddha on the shore of a massive reservoir. During the 12th century rule of King Parakramabahu, a vast irrigation network with reservoirs like this one led to extensive rice farming, earning Sri Lanka the nickname of the Granary of the Orient.
We're in the ancient UNESCO World Heritage Site of Polonnaruwa, and we are at the palace of Nisan Kamala, who was a very important ruler in Sri Lanka and who defeated the Indians in battle, who took over Ceylon, then Sri Lanka now, in battle.
And to your left
is the seat where he watched sporting events, and it is inscribed with stories of all his victories over the Indians.
This was the original Temple of the Tooth. in the 12th century before it moved to Kandy. It stayed here for a couple hundred years, and then it moved on.
This is what's known as Galbahera, and it is several Buddha statues carved out of one single enormous stone, which looks like marble. And the standing Buddha is 7 meters tall, and the marbling across his face is really unique. I think this is one of a kind.
Inner city travel in Sri Lanka was easy and affordable with our helpful homestay hosts. Our trip from Polonnaruwa to Anuradhapura took 2 hours and cost $35 for a car service that doubled as an elephant safari. The sacred city of Anuradhapura was established around a cutting from the Tree of Enlightenment, the Buddha's fig tree, brought there in the 3rd century BC. Anuradhapura then flourished for 1,300 years as Ceylon's political and religious capital, until it was abandoned after an invasion in 993. Hidden away in a dense jungle for many years, this splendid site, with its palaces, monasteries, and monuments, is now accessible once again.
We are at a great stupa, one of the most important in Sri Lanka, and just below us are cabinets where people can leave wishes, tying a cloth onto one of the stanchions. There is a ceremony going on right now, and we're going to enter the temple. This is the site of a sacred Bodhi tree, one of a sapling that was brought here by the nuns 2,000 years ago and planted. And it is a seed or a sapling from the original Bodhi tree under which Buddha sat and gained enlightenment or nirvana. And that golden column is supporting the branches of the tree.
Next, we traveled with our host family to Mihintale. It's a common practice for rice farmers in Sri Lanka to dry their harvested rice on roadsides. We were greeted by traditional drummers as we started the 20-minute climb up the stairs to the Mihintale temple. You must remove your shoes before entering sacred places like temples and mosques in Sri Lanka as a sign of respect. It can be a little tough on tender feet, especially when the rocks get hot in the afternoon, so it's a good idea to wear socks.
This is Mihintale, we are at the top of the hill, and this is where Buddhism was introduced to Sri Lanka from India. And there is quite a spectacular view up here, seeing the lakes and the stupa and the big Buddha in the background. It's a tricky climb with steps and climbing with little steps chiseled into the rock, but we're at the top.
The Ambasthala Dagoba is said to enshrine the relics of the great apostle Mihintale, and where he met the king, which inaugurated the presence of Buddhism in Sri Lanka. I'm sure Buddha is smiling upon his furry friends who are a constant source of entertainment. After playing around with the monkeys, it was time for us to hop on board our train to Colombo. The 4-hour first-class air-conditioned train to Colombo was $10. Another reason tourists are getting on board to Sri Lanka while it's still a bargain.